incredible claims by the White House recently, which Mike is all for. And I have to say, I think I have no problems whatsoever to do with increased data collection and increased privacy. Mike's going to talk to us about it today on this episode of the Not So Critical Update.
The inherent contradiction in the headline I just kind of thought was amusing. And it also reminded me actually of a story we did a couple of weeks ago about Washington leading an effort for global data privacy with the aim of increasing privacy by facilitating sharing. And then I'll just read the first paragraph of this article and then bring in Peter and John. The U.S. government wants to collect, analyze, and share more of Americans' data, especially as new technologies and procedures offer the potential to do so without compromising citizens' privacy, and is developing a national strategy to align policies and regulations with that goal. We want to collect more data and be more private. Therefore, we're doing the right thing.
But it's
I
okay.
fully support it.
They're going to have regulations in place, and that means that no one's going to abuse the data. There's not going to be any possible way of abusing the data.
Right, because they're going to invest in a variety of what they call performance-enhancing technologies.
Oh, PETs are privacy-enhancing technologies.
Oh, sorry, what did I say?
Performance enhancing. I think you've got something on the brain there. Okay. There's sort of a Freudian clip there.
Yeah, tracking performance. Isn't that what we're talking about? We want to be able to track better, track data better.
Yeah, right.
Privacy enhancing technologies.
PCs all over that list there. Okay.
Yeah. And this I read as we want some contractor wants to get paid off of this. So they're going to take lots of money for research projects and whatnot.
Yeah. It's such it reminds me of the way to solve gun violence is just have someone with a gun around. Just give more guns to the Peter, right people. Is we
don't need somebody from the UK telling us how to handle our gun problems. We've got that covered. What do you guys know about solving gun violence anyway?
Yeah, you're right. You
guys even have any gun violence?
Yeah, I mean. Well, have you know? Some of my best friends are gun violence. Gun violentists. Yeah, I don't know. All right. No, you're right. Sorry, that's what it reminded me of. Is just utter bullshit. Just in a different context.
It's so funny to me that it's the second article in a couple weeks that takes the same approach of like, we're doing you a favor by making this more secure, so that we can collect more data without you getting upset, or like, I don't even understand the logic of it. And these guys, politicians, these like 80, 90-year-old politicians read this and they're like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. Can I get this on my Twitter?
Well, yeah, it's their only frame of reference. It's the only thing they have to think about is this stuff that's in the fucking crappy website. You just like now it's an article. Sorry, go on.
What you said about the 90-year-olds, you just reminded me of what's the CEO of Google's name?
Pichai. I only know the originals.
So that guy I think he was in front of Congress and they were questioning him about Google tracking locations.
Sundar Pichai.
And the congressman that was questioning him was holding an iPhone. It was very important. He was holding an iPhone and he said, "Do you know when I go over there to my friend, do you know that I went from here to over there through my phone?" And he was like, his answer was like, well, I'd need a little bit more information. And he was about to say about your device. And he's like, you're not answering my question. It's a yes or no question. So does Google track my movement if I go from here to over there? And he's like, his patience, you could tell he's running thin. And you know me, like I'm no proponent of Google, but like, fuck, dude, let the guy answer. And he's like, well, I'd need more context because obviously he would need more context. Like it's if he's running iOS, like most likely, no, he's not being tracked. Like Apple might be tracking it. Maybe he has Google Maps on his phone with those permissions enabled, but we need to know a little bit more. And of course, he's playing a little, I think coy is a good word here, because he could say, yes, Google does track location movements if it's enabled. That's what he could have said.
But from a policy standpoint,
like,
there are two problems. One is these out of touch technological Luddites who are making all these decisions. The other is our national security apparatus does not want encryption because they view that as a national security threat. The government views encryption as a national security threat.
I think every government views encryption as a national security threat.
Fair enough. But combine that with the fact that these guys have no idea what they're even talking about in the first place. And all the decisions are being made by the corporations who are lobbying them. And the rest of us are all just left to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But this happens with in every area of government, right? We have people making decisions about things which they cannot possibly be experts on. So agriculture, healthcare.
That's why
I think that's why you need. That's why you need a it's so hard to even start solving it in such a privatized country. It's really just, I was going to say you need like a technology panel specifically for this stuff, but those are all going to be former employees of Giant, you know. Well, we don't.
I mean, revolving door of politics lobbyist.
Like try to explain end-to-end encryption to one of these guys. They're like 100 years old.
Try to explain how to attach a PDF to an email to one of these guys. Jesus.
Yeah.
They're $1 billion.
But it is kind of weird though. It's I suppose if you're the government, if I'm the government and I produce, I'm like, hey, solve this complex problem. I'd be like, okay, well, I don't understand this. So I'm going to go and ask some people who clearly know what they're talking about. I'm going to call Facebook and Google.
Right.
Yeah. Hey guys, listen, this is complex privacy issue that I really don't understand. Can you please help me figure out what the right solution is there, please? And that's really
Mark was running laps around these guys when he was being questioned after Cambridge Analytica. Because one, Mark is a very, very smart individual, and he's answering to these 90-year-olds who have no clue what to ask even.
In Google's new AI, do you think he would be able to win in a fight?
He's convinced all of us.
There's still some counts.
Facebook's AI Zuckerberg versus Google's AI Lambda.
I think Zuckerberg would fail the Turing test, actually. He might well fail the Turing test.
He's not a real person.
What was it he did in an interview? He was like, I'm not a robot. Like that. Obviously, you would say that.
Oh, God, the announcement of the metaverse thing where he did that cringy thing where he's like, oh, ho, I thought you were the robot, Mark. Guys, we're having so much fun. Come join us in the metaverse.
Really bad.
Come join us. Join us. Yeah.
Join us. Yes.
Yeah.